Hello and welcome to our channel. Hi and welcome back. This is part 2 of the Chinese diesel heater install. Part 1, what I noticed most about my first ever video was the terrible camera work. So I've not just blaming my tools, but I've treated myself to a new camera, which hopefully you can tell, and hopefully it'll be better going forwards, because I plan to make quite a few videos with Vicky on our travels. By the way, the camera I went for was a DJI Action 3. I've only had it a day. First impressions, it seems great, but please comment below if you've got any advice or tricks. So if you remember folks, this is where we actually seated the heater using a turret plate. That's absolutely perfect there, in my opinion. I've put some protective plastic to the fuel line going into the back cupboard, and I'll show you the tank where it's seated now. Diesel tank, the back here. So I've got my tank there. I put a stand pipe in because I didn't want to put it at the bottom in fear of leaks. That connects to the fuel filter, which then in turn connects to the fuel pump. I've left that a little bit hanging because apparently it's better for sound if it's not actually touching anything, and then that goes straight back through into the van. Okay, so what we did with the vent, I drilled a hole in this little cupboard door and put it through, so it's nice and tidy. I think it looks really well there. I think it's a tidy job. As you can see, it's just under my rock and roll bed. Yeah. All I did then was connect the wire in straight to the battery. You can't really go wrong with the wiring on these things. There's 3 different connections for 3 different things. One obviously for the fuel pump, one is for the controller, and one for the main heater itself. So that's probably the easiest part, is wiring the thing up. And luckily for me, when I started up first time, it was fine. I didn't have all that smoke what I've seen people on other videos. They say it smokes for a good 10 minutes, but I never had that. I don't know why, but I never. First impressions, absolutely cracking bit of kit. Warms the place up. You probably hear it now. It warms the place up in 10 minutes. Touch wood. It's going to be great. Right, so this is where I've put the controller. Just a standard controller really. I tell you what did take me ages to figure out. Obviously it says H3 at the minute, but to actually get that to degrees, you press and you hold this top button here and it turns it to degrees. Then you can obviously alter what degrees you want the van to be. That's the degrees in the van currently, and that is what you want it to be. Above that I've put a carbon monoxide detector, which I highly recommend because you can never be too careful. So let's have a quick overview of what we've done. Chinese diesel heater. Mine's a 2 kilowatt version because it's only a VW, it's a small van, so I thought that'd be ample. Used a turret plate. You must make sure where you're drilling there's nothing obstructing underneath the van. That's probably the hardest bit, is committing to drilling a big hole in your van. But once you go, there's no going back. Luckily we got it spot on. A lot of people drop the tanks, which I might even do in the future. Probably the easier option, but not the easier install. But then you don't have to worry about, you know, having diesel tank in your van if it's going to leak, etc, etc. But we are where we are, and so far I'm over the moon. So that's really it on my Chinese diesel install. I know it wasn't the best video in the world, bear with me, it's our first one. Hopefully the camera works a lot better on the second one than the first. But please like and subscribe. Comment below for anything, you know, you'd like to see, or any improvements, which I'm sure there's plenty of. And hopefully see you soon.